Welcome to the if statement. This is your guide on how to use what is in Java 101, the if statement. I'm qualified to be talking about this. Landed lucrative learnings. Let's get into it. Alright. So, what is the if statement? Well, the if statement is a statement, right? It is the simplest decision-making component of coding, and we'll see why in just a second. It simply says that if a condition is true, then an outcome will happen. And we can see that going on over here. You start the code, there's a condition. If it's true, the code inside of the if statement happens. If it's false, the code doesn't happen. And then you continue with your code. So when writing code for an if statement, you have to make sure you indent the outcome code so that it's visually clear that it's inside of the if statement. That's how you want to properly code that. And here's an example that basically prints if I have a value I that I determine, say from a scanner, and it's less than 10, it'll print it's below 10. If it's greater than 10, nothing will be printed at all. What is this statement used for? It's a great choice if you want to make a specification about something, or if you want something to happen, but it depends on a condition. You can write an if statement to be if something is true or false, actually, because there are operators that you can use, such as the not operator. You can also use and or, and those can allow you to have multiple conditions. So there's a lot of ways to implement different methods of using the if statement for lots of different ways. But yeah, you can have if something is not true, if something is not true. Like there's a lot of ways you can implement that. But yeah, they're a great choice for that. Another aspect of if statements is to consider is that they can only be run once, which means if you initialize something here, I equals 5, and it is less than 10, it will run that. If it's greater than 10, it won't run the code because it says if it's less than 10. But then if you increase I later in your code, it doesn't change the if statement at the start of the code. So it's important to understand, and you'll need more technical for loops and while loops for that. There's a variety of types. The simple if statement just won't do, especially for more efficient code. It's better to use other ones for different scenarios. So we can add an else statement for if else statements, and this allows us to have a scenario occur when the if statement returns false, and only then. So if it's false, it skips over that. Whatever is the else, it will do that. If you didn't have an else there, whatever that is in that else statement, you would have to specify again in another if statement. The else allows you to simplify that process, essentially. And it's useful if you want to test something only if another thing is true, allowing us to be more specific. So yeah, that's if you want to nest if statements inside of each other. There is no limit to the amount of nested if statements you can have. You can have an infinite number of them if you wanted. It's not possible, but you could get pretty close. It's important to understand that the condition of the statement is a Boolean, so it's testing if something is true or false. So you'd have to use maybe if something is equal to something, using the two equal signs, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Practicality, it's used all over the place. Literally all over the place. It is, like I said, it's the fundamental logical block. This is why it is the simplest statement. It's broad. It's in every game you've played. It's in every system implemented. It's in every program you run. So yeah, thank you for listening.